Welcome back. We are going to continue our cover system and get our animations added and a new post search database added, including this look round corner system here and on the other side as well. So we're going to use a post search database and free animations that I found as well. And yeah, we're going to have a full cover system set up that you can use. So the roadmap for the project is down below, so you can read it and see what's coming up. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to see, and we'll see what we can do. No promises. And yeah, big thank you to our paid members, Dev, Danny Diggs, and Imagine Bravery. Your support is always appreciated, and thank you everybody for watching. If you do have any questions, the Discord is linked below, and I will leave any FAQs that we need to help people complete the tutorial. So I hope you have a lovely weekend, and thank you very much for watching. First thing we need to do is we're going to open up our content drawer, click on this fab icon at the top, wait for it to do its business on my slow internet, and then all products, I'm just going to type in A, and then I'm going to delete the A because I want, and then press search again so I get all the products that are available, and then more filters, publishers, voxel, vision, voxel vision, select this one, and then somewhere in here should be a free animations pack. There we go, free animations library. And we're just going to add these to our project, and they're going to download. And you'll notice in here there's some attack animations, there's some climbing ones, there's some prone ones, there's cover ones, which is the ones that we want, the sliding ones, rolling, going up and down stairs, 8-way crouch, mantling, and like a bunch of other stuff as well, which is cool. But the ones that we want are these: cover movement and cover look from corner and cover idle. Okay, while that's downloading, we're going to come to our content drawer, and what we need is a enum. So we're going to right click and get a enum. This will be E cover direction, or E cover D, it would seem. And then we're going to make some. So the first one's going to be none. Does that make sense? And then we're going to go moving left, and we've got moving right, and then we are in idle left and idle right, and we're going to save that. And then we need to come to PPC cover, and we're going to add that variable there. So we want the cover direction, or cover D. This will be our cover direction. You know, when you say something so often, it's just like, that makes no sense. I'm gonna save everything so it doesn't die. This is important. Make sure you save everything because it has a habit of retargeting the animations badly. And then we're going to come out of here to the content drawer, go to the free animations library, go to animations, go to cover, and all of these we're going to right click and retarget them. We're going to come to the UEFN skeleton, and we want all of the cover ones. And then we're going to export those, and they're going to go into our animation library. I'm going to make a new folder for cover, and I'm going to put all of those in there and export. And that is all of them. Beautiful. So idle cover, anim cover down, idle left, and the same for right, and the two loops. I'm going to right click all of those, so you can press Control, select them all, and right click them. And then I'm going to do asset actions, edit selection in property matrix. I'm going to enable root motion on all of them. So open up this root motion thing on the right, force the root lock, enable the root motion, get the animations, and select loop, and save. The other two, so back in our animations library, in our cover, so we've got the cover look left and cover look down right. I'm going to right click and create anim montages. These two are going to be montages. I'm going to open those up and make sure they're on the default slot, and they are. That's beautiful. And then back in BPC cover, we need to get our enum, and we'll set the cover direction, and the first one will be idle left, just because we need to enter a cover somewhere. And then on leave cover, we're going to set it to none, just here. We're also going to add in an event dispatcher here. We're going to say entered. We're going to call it on entered cover. And I'll tell you the reason. The main reason for this is we want to get this cover variable and create it inside the sandbox character, because the animation blueprint doesn't like looking at components or things. So we also want to send the cover direction across as well. So we're going to get on enter cover and go to the details and make a new parameter there of a boolean. We'll call it in cover, and then we'll add a new one in here for the enum for the cover D. This will be cover D, the cover direction, and then I'm going to drag it and call it here. So if we're calling it here, then we are in cover, and the cover D is idle left. So you don't actually need this set. And then on here, we're going to call it again and set this to none. We can connect in cover up here so it knows. And we do need that here because it's registering the in cover node here. So we do need it to be that way inclined. Right, okay, so I always get these mixed up, whether -1 is left or -1 is right. So to learn that, we're just going to put a print string here and put A into the in string and disconnect this duration if that's happened, and connect that up there. So now if we test this, press 0, left is -1 and right is 1. Beautiful. So I know that if A is compare float, compare with 0, so 0 is stood still. If it is more than 0, then cover direction will be right and cover direction will be left if less than 0. And if not moving, that's where it gets a bit more difficult. So we're going to connect both of these up to the spear trace. So for not moving, what we're going to do is get the cover direction and do a select. And then we're going to set the cover direction. Move that out a little bit. So if it equals to 0, then if the last cover direction was moving left, then we idle left. And if it was moving right, then we idle right. Because that means we've stopped. So we're getting the cover direction that we had previously, checking what it is currently, and then setting it depending on what it is here. So if it's moving left, then it chooses to make this one idle left. It's a little bit complicated. And then we're going to get on into cover, and call that, and we're going to say that we are in cover because we're doing this, and just pass in the cover direction here to compile this. All right, back in sandbox character, we're going to select our cover here, and we're going to say on entered cover, and we're going to promote this one to a variable and this one to a variable, and they're just going to sat there. sit there. Bad English. Okay. Right, next bit, we're going to go to mesh. We're going to go to sandbox character. And we're going to open those up. Event graph. And we're going to make some new variables. So we're going to update the essential variables. Is it essential or is it update states? Now we're going to update the states. I'm going to add a pin. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click and get property access or property access. Property access, there we go. And we're going to find our sandbox character. And we're going to get our new variables. Scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. So we get cover. Oh. Okay, so sandbox, you need to make sure you compile and save it. And then you should see sandbox character, see cover. There we go. So in cover. Then we're going to duplicate that to then get the cover direction as well. So sandbox character, cover. We're going to remove the binding from the duplicate, go then into sandbox character, and we'll get the cover D. And then we're going to promote both of those to a variable. And this will be cover, and the other one will be cover direction. And then we're going to just grab both of those and connect them up to the sequence in some nice thread safe variables. Compile that and save it. And then we're going to come to content. We're going to go to characters, UEFN mannequin, animations, motion matching data, and we're going to choose the pose search database. And this one will be the dense one. Okay, now we don't have any animations for if we are stood up, so we're going to have to use the crouch ones. If you have animations for standing, you just do the same thing, but for crouch. So first off, we're going to open crouch idle. We're going to duplicate the crouch idles here and duplicate it again. And then we're going to add a new column of type bool. And this bool will be cover. And I'm going to add a new one of enum. And this enum will be of type cover direction. So for all of them, apart from the two new ones, the two new ones, the first one's going to be idle left, and then the other one's going to be idle right, and cover is going to be true apart from the other two. So what we're going to do is select crouch idles, duplicate it. So this will be crouch idles, cover left. Open that up. And we don't need then crouch idle or transition to stand. So we're going to delete both of those. Find our cover animations. Cover idle left. Add that here and deselect the reselection. Back in our chooser table, database dense, we're going to get then crouch idles left and plug that into left. Simple. And we're going to do the same sort of thing, crouch idles right. So duplicate crouch idles left, and we'll make this crouch idles cover right. Open that up. And then instead of left, we're going to do idle right. And that'll show us just there. Beautiful. And now we can test this by clicking to enter cover, so 0. And that's having a freak out. Why are we freaking out? Because we are not telling it that it's in crouch. Okay, so that's fine. So we're going to get a branch from this in cover here. So after cover D, we're going to get a branch. And we're going to press in cover into here. And if it's true, then we're going to start crouch. And if it's false, then we're going to uncrouch. So in here now, and there we go. Crouching left. And we're doing the wrong animations on our crouches, but that is fine. Because these are the moving animations. And we just want the other animations. So we're going to stop that. And then we're going to go to our post search database and go to crouch moving. And we're going to get these walk loops, duplicate them twice. And we're going to do the same thing. Add cover, other ball, bind, get cover, add column of an enum, bind this to cover direction. And one of these, all of these are going to be true, apart from two. So the two new ones are going to be true, and all the others are going to be false. And then we're going to have one moving left and one moving right. We're going to select crouch walk loops, duplicate it, crouch walk, cover, left, loop. And then the same for crouch walk, cover, right, loop. Open up cover left loop and select all of these. And then we can go to cover and we can put in the loop left. Again, disable reselection. And then open up the post search database and change one of the loops to be loop left, cover right loop, cover left loop, and the other one to be cover right loop. And we need to just make sure you get these right, or it won't work properly. So starts, loops, cover left loop, cover right loop, and pivot, and then false, false, true, true, false. And cover direction is non, non, moving left, moving right, and non. Open up cover right loops, get rid of all the animations that are in there, and then we'll put the cover right moving as well. Now, if we play from here, press 0. There we are with our cover loops working. Okay. And what we're going to do in a second is, first off, we should increase that variable. So we made a small mistake here, and what it is this compare float. These two are fine for the more than and less than. But on 0, it never reaches here, because 0 means that we're not pressing it. So this cover is never being set. So what we're going to do is we're still going to leave this here. I'm going to press Control and C, go to the sandbox character, and Control V it into here. And this cover direction, we just need to make sure that that's the new cover state that we've got for both of these. And then on cancelled and completed, we're going to get a branch. And we're just going to say if we are in cover and we've stopped, then set this to be this. So set cover direction to be idle left if we're moving that way, or idle right if we're moving the other way. And now what we can see is inside default level, we enter the cover. We're going that way and we're stopping moving left. We go move right and we're idle right. So that works as intended. Okay, so now if we don't hit something, then that means that we're at the edge. So let's just show what that looks like. So we'll print our edge off the false on our moving along wall. So this will be our default false. Press that here. You see our edge. And our edge straight away. Okay. So what we want to do is back in VPC cover. On this at edge, we're going to do a play montage. And we're going to get owner and get component by class. This will be our skeletal mesh. Plug that into skeleton component. And the montage to play, we're just going to do a select based off cover direction. So if we were moving left, then we want to look left. And if we're moving right, we want to look right. I'll plug that into false. And then I kind of just want to test that actually to see what that looks like. So what we want to do is, I think these are on the wrong like looks, but let's just open them up because we need to activate the root motion to stop us being able to fiddle and turn around with them. So we're going to double click on look left, use root motion, but not force root lock, and the same on look right, use root motion on there. And then now that we play, we're not spinning around anymore, but his head's definitely looking in the wrong direction. To stop the weird like swapping of where it's looking, it's not looking to the right direction. We need to do some messing with our code, which is a bit annoying. So first off, we're going to add two variables here. The first one's going to be edge L, and the second one's going to be edge R. And we're going to, on true, we're going to set them to false. Because if we're true, then neither of these will be correct. Okay. And then on false, so when we reach the edge, we need to check which edge we've reached. So we're going to get cover direction and get equals equals. And say moving left. And set edge L on there. So net false there. We're going to set edge R after it, but to equals equals moving right. And then connect that to the play montage and compile and save that. Okay. So now when we reach an edge, we're going to check if we were moving left, so we'll reach the left edge, or we're going to check if we're moving right, so we reach the right edge. If it's false, then we're going to say that the edge isn't the right edge or the edge isn't the left edge. And if we're moving against the wall, then neither of those are going to be true because we're not on the wall. Okay. And now the next bit is a little bit complex. So we're going to right click and we're going to type in mirror. I'm going to get this mirror data table and it's going to ask you for the UEFN. And we're going to accept that. And this will be a mirror DT cover look. And what this does is it does what it says on the tin. It mirrors the data tables. And we want to get rid of root, pelvis, spine, up to spine 05, and then all the way down at the bottom from head down. So I'm not bothered about all the calves or anything. So we want 1 to 59. Okay, perfect. And then in our ABP sandbox character, we're going to get our component to local and cache that. And that's going to be our motion matching. Full system. And then I'm going to right click and get blend pose by ball. And connect that. I want to get the motion matching full system. And put that into false. And then if I get property access again, we can do sandbox character. And then we can do cover, VPC cover, and I can get edge L and edge R. But then I'll have made VPC cover part of the ABP. So now they're like super linked together, which is not what we want at all. So we need to go to VPC cover and get on entered cover. Say boolean, say edge L, and then another one for edge R. And just before we play this montage, do entered cover and pass in edge L and edge R. Say that we're in cover here, and the cover direction is there. And then right at the end here, where we're doing this call on the add movement input, pass in edge L and edge R just here. And then again, just at the top, edge L, edge R. And then finally, when we leave cover, we're going to set both of those to empty. So that's fine. In sandbox character, I want to come down to the thing that we've got and refresh it. And I've got edge L and edge R. And again, just to promote both of those to a variable. And connect it all up in this row just here. And that just keeps the connections looser. So now when I go to ABP sandbox, I can just get the sandbox character. Make sure you save and compile. This is something I always forget. Sandbox character. And we're just looking for edge L. Duplicate that. Then we just want edge R. So edge R. And we want to say if either of these is true. Then we want to get the motion matching full system and call the mirror DT cover look. And now, oops, VPC cover. Just refresh this node. There we go. Okay, back to default. Go from here, click on this. We enter left, which is fine. And then we reach the end. And this one is playing as expected. So we'll just check that we're getting the right one. This is cover down, look right. It's cover down, look left. Oh, because move, they're on the wrong one. So that moving right and moving left. So cover down right, cover down, look left. There we go. So it's test the left one. There we go. Now he's looking around. And yeah, this arm is a bit weird, but we can turn off the mirroring for that arm. So you would just come in here, find all the left arm stuff and turn it off that way. But I'm going to leave mine as it is for the time being. And that's it. So this has shown you how to use a mirrored database, shown you how to set up post search databases as well, and we've added a cover system to the game animation sample project. So let me know what you think.